He then, with all sincerity and goodwill, addressed them thus: "What in heaven's name do I now see? Is not Hector come to life again?" Everyone made sure he had been killed by Ajax, son of Telamon, but it seems that one of the gods has again rescued him. He was killed, many of us Danans already, and I take it will yet do so, for the hand of Zeus must be with him, or he would never dare show himself so masterful in the forefront of the battle. Now therefore let us all do as I say. Let us order the main body of our forces to fall back upon the ships, but let those of us who profess to be the flower of the army stand firm, and see whether we cannot hold Hector back at the points of our spears. As soon as he comes near us, I conceive that he will think better of it before he tries to charge into the press of the Danans." Thus did he speak, and they did even as he said. Those who were about, Ajax and King Idomeneus, the followers moreover of Caesar, Meronius and Meges, peer of Ares, called all their best men about them to sustain the fight against Hector and the Trojans. But the main body fell back upon the ships of the Phaeacians. The Trojans pressed forward in a dense body, with Hector striding on at their head. Before him went Phoebus Apollo, shrouded in cloud about his shoulders. He bore aloft the terrible aegis with its shaggy fringe, which Hephaestus, the smith, had given Zeus to strike terror into the hearts of men. With this in his hand he led on the Trojans. The Argives held together and stood their ground. The cry of battle rose high from either side, and arrows flew from bowstrings. Many a spear sped from strong hands and fastened to the bodies of many a valiant warrior, while others fell to earth midway before they could taste a man's fair flesh and glut themselves of blood. So long as Phoebus Apollo held his aegis quietly, and without shaking it, the weapons on either side took effect, and the people fell. But when he shook it straight in the face of the Danans, raised his mighty battle cry, their hearts fainted within them, and they forgot their former prowess, as when two wild beasts spring in the dead of night on a herd of cattle or a large flock of sheep. When the herdsman is not there, even so with the Danans struck helpless, for Apollo filled them with panic and gave victory to Hector and the Trojans. The fight then became more scattered, and they killed one another where they best could. Hector killed Stysaphus and Aristoclus, the one leader of the Boeotians, and the other friend of the comrade of Memphius. Anaphus killed Medon and Eosus. The first was bastard son of Oileus and brother to Ajax, but he lived in Phylace, away from his own country, for he had killed a man, a kinsman of his stepmother, Eurypus, whom Eleos had married. Iliasus had become a leader of the Athenians, and the son of Cephalus, the son of Malacolus. Polydamas killed Mesiatus and Hippolytus, Achaeus, and friend of Vansel, while Agenor slew Polonius. Paris struck Duochus from behind in the lower part of his shoulder as he was flying among the foremost, and the point of the spear went clean through him. While they were spoiling these heroes of their armor, the Athenians were flying pell-mell to the trench and set stakes, and were forced back within their wall. Hector then cried out to the Trojans, "Forward to the ships, and let the spoils be. If I see any man keeping back on the other side of the wall from the ships, I will have him killed. His kinsmen and the kinswoman shall not give him his dues of fire, but dogs shall tear him in pieces in front of our city." As he spoke, he laid his whip about his horses' shoulders, and called to the Trojans throughout their ranks. The Trojans shouted with a cry that rent the air, and kept their horses neck and neck with his own. Phoebus Apollo went before and kicked down the banks of the deep trench into the middle, so as to make a great broad bridge. A broad has a throw of a spear when a man is trying his strength. The Trojan battalions poured over the bridge, and Apollo, with his redoubtable aegis, led the way. He kicks down the wall of the Phaeacians as easily as a child who, playing on the seashore, has built a house of sand and then kicks it down again and destroys it. Even so did you, O Apollo, shed toil and trouble upon the Argives, filling them with panic and confusion. Thus then were the Phaeacians hemmed at their ships, calling out to one another and raising their hands with loud cries, every man to heaven. Nestor of Berne, tower of strength, to the Phaeacians, lifted up his hands to the starry firmament of heaven, and prayed more fervently than any of them. "Father Zeus," he said, "if ever one in wheat growing Argos burned, ye fat thy bones of sheep or heifer, and prayed that he might return safely home, whereon you bowed your head to him in assent. Bear it in mind now, and suffer not the Trojans to triumph thus over the Phaeacians." All counseling, Zeus thundered loudly in answer to the prayer of the aged son of Neleus. When the Trojans heard Zeus thundering, they flung themselves yet more fiercely on the Phaeacians, as a wave breaking over the bulwarks of a ship. When the sea runs high before a gale, for it is the force of the wind that makes the waves so great, even so did the Trojans spring over the wall with a shout and drive them chariots onwards. The two ships of Foss with their double-pointed spears in hand-to-hand encounter, the Trojans from their chariots, and Achaeans climbing up onto the ships and wielding the long spikes that were lying on the decks ready for use, and the sea fight joined to the shot with bronze. Now Patroclus, so lying the Athenians, and the Trojans were fighting about the wall, but were not he as within, and after the ships remained sitting in the tent of good Eurypylus, entertaining him of his conversation and spitting herbs over his wound to ease his pain. When however he saw the Trojans swarming through the breach in the wall, while the Athenians were clamoring and struck with panic, he cried aloud and smote his two thighs with the flat of his hands. Eurypylus, said he in dismay, "I know you want me badly, but I cannot stay with you any longer, for there is hard fighting going on. A servant shall take care of you now, for I must make all speed to Achilles and induce him to fight if I can. Who knows, but with heaven's help I may persuade you. A man goes well to listen to the advice of a friend." When he had thus spoken, he went his way. The Phaeacians stood firm and resisted the attack of the Trojans. Yet though these were fewer in number, they could not drive them back from the ships, neither could the Trojans hurt the Phaeacians' ranks and make their way among the tents of the ships. As a carpenter of line gives a true edge to a piece of a ship's timber in the hand of some skilled workman from Athena, as instructed in all kinds of useful arts, even so level was the issue of the fight between the two sides, as they fought, some round one and some round another. Hector made straight for Ajax, and the two fought furiously about the same ship. Hector could not force Ajax back and fire the ship, nor yet could Ajax drive Hector from the spot to which heaven had brought him. Then Ajax struck Caletor, son of Clytius, in the chest with a spear as he was bringing fire towards the ship. He fell heavily to the ground, and the torch dropped from his hand. When Hector saw his cousin fallen in front of the ship, he shouted to the Trojans and Lycians, saying, "Trojans, Lycians, and Dardanians, good and close by, debate not a jot, but rescue the son of Clytius, lest the Phaeacians strip him of his armor now that he was fallen." He then aimed a spear at Ajax and missed him, but it hit Lycophron, a follower of Ajax, who came from Cythera, but was living with Ajax inasmuch as he had killed a man among the Cytherians. Hector's spear struck him on the head below the ear and fell headlong from the ship's prow onto the ground with no life left in him. Ajax shook with rage and said to his brother, "Sesir, my good fellow, our trusty comrade, the son of Master, has fallen. He came to live with us from Cytherea. and whom we honor as much as our own parents. Hector has just killed him. Fetch your deadly arrows at once, and the bow which bold Apollo gave you.